Log continuation, 7:58 in the morning, West Coast time, still the 5th of November, 2023, Weaver Town City, Roseman, California. Partridge in a pear tree. I was trying to get deep and personal concerning about my own thought patterns, my own beliefs, and everything else going on. And technical issues with my computer. Previous letter I did was to Jesse Dollarmore, who likes to be a bellicose person. He'll talk about his own stuff, his own observation, and he goes nuts on the shit about everybody else going nuts on their own damn stuff. How about that one? Yeah, I'm still nursing it. After 3 videos, I'm still nursing it. So what the hell was I talking about? Getting metaphysical in my own explanations of the stuff I was getting to, getting emotional, getting spiritual, trying to get into that Zen mode. Oh, no, no, no. The Zen mode I need to do is stay the hell away from the damn YouTube stuff and the news crap going on out there because the world's going hell in a handbasket, and I still need to focus on a math essay concerning about understanding math. I don't understand the shit. Are you kidding me? Fuck. My language is a little bit rough. My language is saltier than crap sometimes when I allow it to be. I don't get commercialisms on this one. This is my channel of my own lifeboat of talking about my life and everything else, which I've said before in my other videos. So, but this is me airing and venting it out. And why not? And why not? It's not that I want to build up an audience here. Shit. Yeah, on YouTube, like you expect to build up an audience out of it. People want to watch you. You have to make it interesting for people. Do I? I'm doing it for my own damn lifeboat and my own personality situation over here, getting stuff off my damn chest. I'm going through a lot of things that I hadn't gotten through in a long time. And I have to get this stuff off my chest one way or another. I've got to get whatever it is out of me. So I can focus on other things. That being said, losing track of the things I was going to say at this point. Going through college is a wonderful thing for those who can actually afford it or try to find ways to afford it. Even back then in the 80s, it was hard enough to afford it. Part-time jobs or full-time jobs just to pay for it. And then go to school part-time. But if you're lucky enough, go full-time when you got a part-time job just to keep supporting you. And it was hard back then. It's even rougher these days. I'd seen the expenses. There's no way in a part-time job you'd be able to afford this damn crap in the first place. Or barely enough going through the classes. Getting the materials necessary? Oy. You know, if back then, back in the 80s, if they actually had the smartphones with the cameras, I would have been taking multiple shots of books, putting them into. Sorry, I'm just adjusting my seat back here. There's a cushion and my vest. Here we go. Just want to make sure I feel a little comfortable. No, if we had the cameras back then, what we have now, I would have been taking a lot of pictures of textbooks, materials that I needed, and using them for study. We didn't. Polaroids. We'd be chewing up Polaroid pictures left and right for those damn things. No, we had to get the used books. We had to get the used books, and then it costed, what was it, 5 or 10 cents back then for a single copy of a sheet. So that would have been chewing up bills right there. But the copy is probably a little bit cheaper than the book, maybe, depending on which book you were getting. And what happens if there was a workbook that needed a textbook for it? It's even bad enough over here, but at least these days we got the electronic versions that we can work with, and if we have enough money for an iPad or our smartphones or our computers, we can actually get them. We can afford such stuff. College is expensive. But how expensive it is when you want to go out on the deep end and just explore. Literally explore. I've been talking a lot past couple of videos this morning. I just had to get shit off my damn chest. See other articles, what other people are doing. And I'm like, no, I know I'm crushed for time and I got to get this damn work done. But I wanted to get my chest cleared. I want to get my head cleared on this one. Jesse Dollarmore was well, not picking on, he was reporting on a pastor who was trying to get people to follow an orange gas bag that used to be the president of the United States. And everyone else swears fealty to this guy, to the pastors and to the Trump. And I was trying to tell Jesse in a way, and I guess I wasn't communicative enough with him anyway. Maybe I talked to that much. I do. When it comes down for the video, yeah, but in person, I feel like I just needed to get my point across one way or another. I don't do 5 or 10 minute clips. I do about 20 to 30 and sometimes 40-minute clips just to get some things off my chest, and it's not enough. I have to keep doing multiples. And I wanted to tell Jess, he's offended about this one guy going off the deep end regarding Christianity. Well, shit, he had been crazy over the damn Westboro nuts. God, I heard about those assholes for decades. They got different people screaming, yell their own damn obscenities. You guys are against God. God will get you. And they go over to a funeral of a veteran and they start screaming and yelling at the people left and right, telling people that the veteran's going to go to hell. It's like these people don't know their ass from a hot rock, or they actually love abuse one way or another. So hear about these so-called evangelist numbnutses out there. They're saying that you got to believe with all your heart because this is what Christ has taught. And Jesse was saying about you got to be appalled as a Christian about all this stuff. I mean, you've got to be appalled. I'm like, don't tell me how to think or feel about this one, asshole. A lot of things I probably would agree with you. Some of the other politicians are also assholes and assholerettes. And I'm not holding back on the damn language. Screw it. And when I'm hearing about a pastor talking about his shit, I usually put a blind ear to it. But unfortunately, other people can't do that. They don't want to do that. They're so damn hungry for bullshit, it's not even funny. But me being grounded as it is, it looks like I have to be one of those kind of people that have to put up notice. Not just walk away and hide my head. No. I got to be one of them schmucks like Jesse would have to keep rallying up and say, yeah, I agree about this asshole here. And then again, I got to confront the asshole and say, what is your major malfunction? What is your major malfunction? Is this what Christ would have wanted in the first place? Then you studied in the Bible enough as it is, and you call yourself a theologian? You call yourself a pastor? When you're going through theology, are you supposed to be understanding and comprehending each particular Bible phrase in there? A layman like myself, growing up with and without influence in the church, going to church and reading the Bible, I hadn't read the Bible all the time. But some certain portions of it I kept away, and other portions I didn't. Because some of the stories in there didn't relate to me at all. Samson and Delilah. Big whoop. Solomon. That wasn't a big whoop. Portion of it is a story in there. You're talking about famine happening across Egypt and certain Middle East countries, and then the tribe of Israel had to have a place to call home. And since Joseph of the multicolors was having issues with his brothers, and Joseph finds himself in Egypt, and through God's plan and action, he was put into a position of authority and power, and Allowed the tribe of Israel to come on in. Tribe of Abraham. So now you got other tribes out there existing who are obedient to God, who worship God outside the influences. But certainly certain portions that I know and understand in the Holy Bible. I haven't been a researcher in the other holy texts, unfortunately. I wish I had been. Could have been. Needed to be, but it wasn't. And I understood that seasons change, rulers change, and all hell breaks loose with some of the people of Israel. Had to be turned into slaves. Was it because of the fear of the multitude? They were fruitful, they multiplied. Okay, so what? They have a population out there. Oh my God, they scared the hell out of the Egyptians. We gotta enslave these assholes. And they got enslaved. And they didn't like it. They couldn't get the hell out of it if they wanted to. They tried, but they couldn't. So God had to send someone out there to get them out of there. Took them long enough. God's timing's a lot different than ours. And we kept bitching and griping about it. But they got out. And they went to different lands to conquer. But trying to find their own homeland to settle in, I guess. But somewhere in there, Jesus comes out centuries later, trying to tell people of a better world beyond ourselves. And they couldn't see anything else beyond the world we got right now in front of our face. That's it. We're just dealing with that. And apparently God picks his timing, picks the places, picks the people. So now we got Jesus in the midst of Caesar's territory. Not in Rome, by the way, but just in the Middle East, and trying to educate the masses one way or another, doing demonstrations of goodwill, of humanity, of decency. A lot of people may not have taken to it. Other people had taken to it. Other people are just pissed off at hell. They're like, how dare you? Oh, she's so upset over here. His name is Jesus. I taught that disciple there. He was an arrogant little shithead. He asked me too many questions about my teachings and about God and what he knew about God. What does he know about God? He was only just a young whippersnapper. Me being a Pharisee, I know better than that little shithead. Yeah. And one of the guys got called in left and right on that one. Criminy. Christ had a problem with us. He wanted to save humanity, but unfortunately, humanity was really screwed up in the head during those days. We wanted salvation. We wanted saving. We wanted Christ to have God strike down the Roman Empire. How do you strike down a bad idea of the Roman Empire? You don't put a sword to the hand because a sword is many coming after you on that one. Nah. You get into here and you get into here. And you put the idea forth. But the bad guys can do that one too. Just not stabbing with it, but forcing their own idea down your throat. Saying, well, this is how it is, young man. You're going to deal with what we say or what? I guess Christ at that point was trying to tell us that it wasn't necessary. Problem is, was it necessary? I think it was. Because he was trying to tell us through his own actions and dealing with other people's interactions what God was. And people just didn't get it. Some people actually did. But the ones who were closer to him, they still didn't get it. His enemies did. They didn't like him one damn bit. Peace, harmony, life beyond here? You kidding me? Are you blasphemous? Caesar is law. Caesar is this. Caesar is that. Caesar is Caesar. Yeah. And apparently there was certain phrases in the Bible, if I'm not mistaken correctly. But I'll get the paraphrasing screwed up on this one. We're Render unto Caesar that which is Caesar. Render unto God which is God. I kept that in my head as a life lesson. What's Caesar want? Control of the physical, power of the physical, power, manipulation. God knows what else he wants in the physical. But when it comes down for the secular, when it comes down for the ideology, when it comes down for everything else, being a good neighbor, being a good friend, being a good family member, being someone who actually cared about for strangers, who tried to show positive reinforcement of humanity. To me, that was Christ. God was trying to tell people what was going on through Christ, I believe. Now, the thing is, I was taught this stuff in Bible school growing up as a kid. The problem is, when you die on a table 3 times and come back to life 3 times at the age of 4 years old because of heart problems, it changes a person's perspective because I had a lot of emotions running through me during that time as a kid. I was scared, I was frightened, I was angry, pissed off. I was a child. I only understood it as a child because a child understands impulses, understands threat and what's not a threat, and what hurts and what doesn't hurt. Is responding to the stimuli. And my stimuli was I was getting pissed off and tired and angry at God. How dare you? Didn't you love your son? Didn't you understand that that was home? You kept me down here for so long. How dare you? There was a long block. There is. I can't tell you most of my life, past the age of 4 years old, I really didn't love and trust God. I knew him, acknowledged him. I tried to do serenity prayers like crazy. But without putting everything else in the line and saying, God, I'm stepping forward. Just do with me as you will. I had to realize at one point in my life I was powerless. People, places, things, and events. I had to put it all in God's hands, but I still do the work. I still do the actions. I am still the physical extension of what I was supposed to be at this point over here. I'm not a robot. I'm still myself. I'm just guided. That's all. When it came down for Jesus, it's a different story altogether on that one. I mean, yeah, I felt the energy when I died 3 times, came back, and there was no context. I couldn't fathom it, and was pissed off because I had a parent abandon me. Bad enough I had a physical parent abandon me. Now I got you abandoning me, God? How dare you? I guess that was the feeling that was going through my heart and my head and my soul during those days. Because I had a problem with God. Every time I kept going to the church, I think I had that attitude already. I couldn't feel the presence. I couldn't, just pray to him about it because I couldn't get past my anger. Couldn't figure this shit out. I guess I had to work it out throughout the years on that one. Things had to happen. Good, bad, and different, didn't matter. Had to happen. I had to learn the hard way. And sometimes those lessons were painful and expensive in different ways. Not monetary wise, anyway. I'm beginning to realize it in my adult age right now for that. Had I been doing good stuff for God, okay, fine. But the thing that mattered most is trying to understand him now. Did I really piss him off back then because I didn't understand? I know God's patience is sometimes stretched thin on sometimes. Even with me. Stretched thin left and right. Trying to figure me out. So, I'm still trying to figure it out these days. But maybe for a chance or a moment or two, I can understand God's point of view. Some things it takes a while to outgrow, and you had to realize, and you had to learn and grow one way or another. It may suck, but if I understand it, I understand it. But if I don't understand it, then I still have to learn the lessons. But I don't have that much time on Earth, do I? I'm still taking it one day at a time, 1 second at a time. But if I got a little more time beyond that, then take it, take it and run with it. If Jesus was around these days, I guess he would be in a form that people wouldn't understand or recognize. Or maybe he'd slip in with us without us realizing it. Not just the thoughts in our heads, but maybe physically lurking a bit. Just shaking his head at humanity, or maybe smiling at a kind turn or something. Trying to see if there was still something salvageable in humanity. Maybe he'd go on YouTube. Who knows? Maybe he'd be technically savvy about that one. I doubt he'd be going on a video to tell people about it. When he probably would allow other people to experience things and let us talk about it. If I could talk to him, I don't know, I keep praying to him. I keep praying to God, trying to talk to him as not a petulant or impertinent, just a child still asking advice from his father. Trying to get some kind of clarification of something or two. A bit of a path or a bit of a choice. A bit of something to understand. So I have to puzzle and reason it out. Somewhere in there, God probably speaks to me in my puzzlings and my musings and lets me know what's going on. He's very good at that. Being subtle. People expect a direct experience. As for people who keep misrepresenting the guy, yeah, I got an issue on that one. I know, they're fools and idiots, and God would think so too. Be grinding my head up, and unfortunately I have to be one of those kind of people that keep speaking against these false prophets. I don't want to leave them alone, but I sure as hell don't want to be totally obsessed about it that I keep losing track of everything else around me. But then again, if I'm called to action on this one, my call to action would be just using video and using words. I just hope other avenues are not available to me. Because I wouldn't know what to say about that one. Anyway, I can get this one off. I still got an essay to write.